trained horses. But I mean, the dog right now is super. From what he was to what he is now, you wouldn't want a nicer dog than what he is. For kids and what have you, unbelievable. And with grown-ups, he's great. I let him get away with a lot. I let him play with me and bite me. But he needs that every so often. But a super nice dog now. If I ever had one like, I keep wanting to take him, and the kids tell me, no, you can't have him.
So you'd say that there was a big difference, though, in the dog from when they got him after?
Oh, night and day. The only thing that's the same is the way he looks, that's all. But other than that, I mean, you couldn't ask for a nicer dog now.
That's great. Thanks a lot.
Hi, this is the case of Alicia and Coco. Alicia, tell us how you acquired Coco.
I adopted him from an agency down south. I was told he was somewhat trained, which when I got him, I found he was not.
How old was he at that time?
He was a little over a year. He was probably about 13 months, maybe.
So you got him through a rescue and you had him shipped here, or you went and picked him up?
They drove him up and I went and met them and picked him up.
I see. So tell me some of the issues that Coco was having when you first got, like.
He wasn't coming to his name. He wasn't sitting. He wasn't laying. He was eating food off the counter every chance he got. He was chewing my kids' toys and stealing anything he could. He was running away a lot. Yeah, that pretty much covers it.
Okay, so looking back on it now, and looking at the process that you went through with us, do you feel that we did a good job as far as like explaining step by step? When you look back on it now, like how we started him with the food and kind of.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, hands down. Everything was done as it should be, and you know, at first it's frustrating being the owner of an out of control dog, but I understood it was you had to do baby steps, and it really paid off. And he's a really, really good dog now, and he doesn't run away anymore. He comes when I call him. He doesn't eat food off the counter anymore, and he's just altogether a much calmer and nicer dog.
That was your dad that we met
Yes.
earlier. So, and he remarked about how he felt the changes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that he had some experience as an animal trainer. He's a horse trainer?
Yes, actually he did. He trained horses for a while. We had our own horses in the backyard, so he knows. And, you know, he had dogs his whole life. So when he got him, as much as he loved him, he couldn't stand it. Nobody could. He didn't listen to his name, the running away. That was the biggest problem because it was, you know, sometimes an hour to 2 hours at a clip to get him back.
I know he was also a little rough with the kids and like stealing their toys.
He was also very shy and very timid when new people would come to the house. He would back away and bark a lot, whereas now he's very friendly and, you know, he's okay. Occasionally a male that he doesn't know. I think it's more of a protective thing than being nervous anymore. But yeah, he's much calmer. Playing with him is a lot better. I mean, he's a big dog. He's got big teeth. He gets a little rough, but that's normal for a puppy. And but otherwise, he's so much easier to manage.
So how old is Coco now?
He'll be 2 in March.
He'll be 2 in March.
Yeah, he'll be 2 in March. March 9th.
You guys get along a lot better with Coco now?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
That's good.
And what does he do at night with you? That you like?
Live with me.
He lays with you? Oh, that's sweet. That's great.
Yeah. It was definitely frustrating in the beginning, even for them. You know, he was stealing their stuff every 5 seconds, and you know.
Yeah.
Kids' toys alike, and then the whole playing thing he was too rough, and they couldn't enjoy him, and now they do.
You fit a certain profile. There's a certain percentage of our customers that fit your profile. We get a lot of people that have rescued a dog. There's a big tendency in our society today for people to get rescues. So they're getting either young adults or adolescent dogs that they don't really know the history of the dog. So
Right.
the dog comes to their home and they're promised that the dog acts a certain way, and often they find out that they were kind of sold on the dog.
Oh yeah.
You know, so they didn't mention this and they didn't mention that when we were adopting the dog.
Right.
So we get a lot of calls in that situation. We also get a lot of calls from housewives or stay-at-home moms or even working moms that have children, and I think the chaos of having an out-of-control dog coupled with trying to raise young children really compounds the situation. Did you feel that way?
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, if it wasn't for you guys, I was ready to give him up because I couldn't, between trying to raise them and do what I need to do on a daily basis with them, and then I had him on top of it. It was very overwhelming, very overwhelming. And
You'd be surprised how many times we hear that at the interview stage when we're talking to people that they won't mention this to us till the very end. They'll say, like when we called you guys, it was like me or the dog. Like, often it'll be like the husband and wife saying it was like, we were either going to get a divorce or we were going to get rid of the dog or we had to get rid of the kid. Like something had to give.
Right.
We were at a breaking point with the dog, and that's what prompted them to call a trainer. And that's a common, phenomena that we run into. We often hear that like people are at their breaking point when they call us.
I'm a dog lover, and I would have hated to have to give him up because to me that's like quitting, and I'm not a quitter. So, I was like, okay, something needs to be done, and this was the right thing to do. And even walking, I forgot to mention walking him. I don't think he ever knew what a walk was, and when I first started taking him for a walk, he was walking me. Pretty much. Now I walk him without a leash, and he's a pleasure, and he does his thing, and when I call him, he comes, and it's just, walking is a pleasure now.
Well, he probably, knowing that he came from down south, there's a good chance that he may have come from a rural or semi-rural kind of environment into a suburban environment.
He was in a big backyard, fenced in, and they just let him run. They told me that he used to chase the birds, and there was a dog in another yard that he would run around back and forth barking at. That was it.
Well, listen, it's a great success story in the sense that, you went out of your way to rescue Coco.
Yeah.
You had your hands full, you sort of bit off more than you could chew once he got here.
Yes.
You've discovered that the reality of, how a dog is advertised, and you know what, I feel for the people that are trying to find a dog a home. They don't want to tell you everything. It's like if you're in a dating service, right? You don't want to list all your worst points. That's not like what you do, okay? If you want to get a date, you want to at least say the things that people have commented about you that are positive. I have a good sense of humor, I'm cute, whatever it is, you want to sell yourself, okay? Let them figure out the stuff that might not be so hot after.
Right.
That's not the first thing I want to advertise. So if they're trying to find a dog a home, for the dog, they don't want to advertise pain in the butt dog, digs holes, runs away, barks all night, looking for a home. Because obviously it's obviously going to prejudice the dog's chances of getting a home.
And what attracted me to him was I didn't want a puppy again, and the fact that he was house trained already. That was number one. That was huge for me.
And that was true. He
was absolutely. He was great, but and I can understand. Okay, they started to train him. I was expecting this really well-behaved dog, and I guess, like anything, if you don't keep up with kids, you don't keep up with an animal. They're gonna forget what they learned.
Well, you know what it is too. The average person's idea of a trained dog and a professionally trained dog, is two different things.
Night and day. Night and day. Because when I take him to the dog park, I have people comment on him, and like, there's 15, 20 dogs running around. Sometimes I call him and he comes right to my side, and people are like, wow, he's really well trained. I'm like, yes, he is.
So the dog went from a pain in the butt to a source of pride.
To a source of pride, absolutely. And because there's being so many dogs in there, you would think most of these dogs are trained and to the level that they tell me. I'm very impressed with him, and I'm proud.
Okay, good. I'm going to say this. This is the part where I give you credit. You followed our directions. I can tell you're a determined person. Like you would call me on a regular. I would call you in between the lessons, and you know, you would tell me that you went to the dog park, you practiced with the dog, you know, you made the situations escalate and become more difficult. You became more demanding of his control as you went on, which is exactly what we hope for you to do.
Right.
What I would like to say, just in summary, were you happy with the service that we provided?
Absolutely, absolutely, hands down.
And you would recommend us to other people that had problems with their
Very
dogs?
professional and very personable as well, which is a nice and added quality.
Alicia, thank you very much for your
Thank
confidence.
you very much. Thank you.
Good boy.
Tell him to sit, walk away from
Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
and do a little bit of movement around healing.
Good boy.
I got it. Chill, 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 chill.
He was extra perfect then. Usually he barks at the bus and he'll stay seated, but he was. Hi, how are you? I missed you. Right? That was the most perfect. She even said like. Come to me. Heel. Deal.
Change his position.
Bring him to me.
Tell him to lay
No.
down first.
Down.
Wait a little bit.
Sit. Sit. Good boy. Good boy.
You're welcome.
Right, that's fine. Tell him now to go in there, try.
Coco, in the crate. In the crate. Good boy.